It's been discovered that FTX approved expenses with emojis. The Bitcoin miner hash price has dropped to an all-time low, and hundreds of employees are leaving Twitter because of Elon Musk. Everybody panic! Abby, get a grip. Sorry. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mainstream Cryptos. It's your girl Abby, and we are going to be covering the latest news from the crypto world today. Alrighty, let's dive straight in. We have a ton of news to cover this week because things have been busy and heating up in the crypto world. Not all bad, however. There is some light on the horizon, so stay tuned for that. We're starting off with the most shocking findings from FTX's bankruptcy filing. I detect a scandal. In the wake of crypto exchange FTX's collapse, which triggered a severe contagion across the industry, many shocking discoveries have been made about the company's governance and management system. A detailed examination of the firm's bankruptcy filing has shown that FTX was a slush fund masquerading as a real business, according to reporter Genevieve Rochdechter. Apparently, FTX approved expenses with emojis. A part of the 30-page-long filing revealed that FTX Group did not have an appropriate disbursement control system. Employees submitted expense requests through online chats, while supervisors and managers approved them with personalized emojis. One doesn't have to be a genius, in my opinion, to see that that's not the most efficient way to run a massive company. Apparently, FTX did not properly record users' deposits either. Oh dear. In addition, crypto assets deposited by customers were not recorded on the balance sheet, and at bankruptcy, the balance of such assets was not presented. The FTX Group company stored private keys in an unsecured group email account. FTX had no board meetings. Most entities had inappropriate governance structures, that is, entities within the FTX group. Notably, most never had any board meetings. The bankrupt empire also had no proper record of its employees. This is bad news. FTX executives lavished users' funds. I think I can hear where this is going. One can almost just see the words appearing there on themselves. Interestingly, the company's corporate funds were used to, acquire homes and personal properties for some top employees without proper documentation. The properties were also purchased under the names of the employees. Okay, let's look at some stats. Related party loans at sister firm Alameda Research comprised loans of $1,543,000,000 and $55 million to SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX's top executive Nishad Singh, and co-CEO Ryan Salami, respectively. Wow. I have a feeling that critiques of the crypto world in general are going to use this as ammunition to fire upon the crypto industry at large. In my opinion, is anything ever stable, especially when it comes to investment banking? Any investment. So, although there's probably going to be a lot of heat about this, and rightly so, from this information, FTX is taking heat for this, it's not necessarily an indication that the crypto world at large is at fault. One of the main attractions in the first place is that blockchain provides a greater degree of transparency. And obviously, there are ways that this can and is going to be in the future hopefully improved and developed. Speaking of which, stablecoin issuer Tether explains how FTX and Alameda collapse has no effect on USDT, which is its native token. Tether, the largest stablecoin issuer in the world, has released a statement assuring investors that USDT is in no way affected by the meltdown of crypto exchange FTX and its trading arm Alameda Research. In a new blog post, Tether says that since Alameda was a large issuer of USDT, speculation on whether the trading firm's collapse presents a risk to Tether has surfaced. However, Tether says that Alameda, being an issuer of USDT, means that Alameda originally sent USD to Tether and received USDT in return. Now, the only option Alameda has is to return USDT to Tether to be reimbursed in dollars. I quote, "Those reserves are still in Tether's possession. They are not on Alameda's balance sheet. The collateral backing Alameda's USDT is not on Alameda's balance sheet. What can Alameda do with their USDT? Their only option is to redeem any USDT they have for US dollars via Tether's redemption facility. This is the same as any other USDT holder around the world. Tether has no outstanding loans of USDT, of Tether's reserves, or of any funds whatsoever." Moving on, Solana loses $1 billion in USDT to Ethereum in Tether chain swap. Okay. Stablecoin issuer Tether today announced a 1 billion chain swap to convert USDT it had on the Solana blockchain to the Ethereum blockchain. The announcement comes as Solana, which just weeks ago ranked within the top 5 biggest cryptocurrencies by market cap, faces difficulties following the collapse of crypto exchange FTX. Solana now ranks 16th by market cap and is down 25.4% in the last 7 days. It is currently trading hands for $13.33, down 95% from its all-time high of $256. Tether previously swapped in mid-2020 $1 billion twice in USDT from Tron to Ethereum within the span of 2 months. So this isn't something new, something that's been seen before. Let's see what Tether has to say about this. This was earlier last week. In a few minutes, Tether will coordinate with a third party to perform a chain swap, converting from Solana to Ethereum for 1 billion USDT. It seems to be a bid by Tether to maintain stability, while it's obviously not at great gain, or shall we say at significant loss to Solana. Moving on. This is a new topic and one which I personally find quite fascinating, dealing with trends and whether or not to follow them. Grayscale says no to proof of reserves. Grayscale said it will not follow the trend and perform a proof of reserves because it would not be the safest thing to do. The cryptocurrency industry was built on top of one slogan: don't trust, verify. But Grayscale is different from the rest of the cryptocurrency related businesses. In a recent Twitter thread pondering the need for transparency in the industry, especially after the collapse of FTX, Grayscale attempted to calm its investors' fears, assuring them that the regulations that apply to its various entities make an FTX-like scenario nearly impossible. Grayscale says, "Funds are safe. Trust us." Let's see what they tweeted. Coinbase frequently performs on-chain validation. Due to security concerns, we do not make such on-chain wallet information and confirmation information, a lot of information there, publicly available through a cryptographic proof of reserve or any other advanced cryptographic accounting procedure. That was Grayscale on November the 18th. I do respect someone who's willing to go against the mainstream demands because it says something about their level of confidence on the one hand. On the other hand, one never knows. So there is no certainty. Moving on. More about Cardano. Cardano just introduced DUST or Dust token. Here's what is known. And I must say, what is known is not a lot. Cardano recently unveiled Midnight, a zero-knowledge data protection-based sidechain, and its upcoming token, Dust. Let's hear from the people themselves. No, it won't devalue ADA. This is a result of speculations about where things stand for ADA, the native cryptocurrency of the Cardano blockchain, when Dust is launched. So I repeat, no, it won't devalue ADA or ADA. It's a different chain, and its native token will have to gain its own relevance like any other. The max supply and emissions schedule of ADA remains unchanged, and Dust will never give you a seat at the table of Cardano consensus or earnings, etc. He further adds, the same person who gave the information above. In response to the possible use of Dust as gas on the Midnight blockchain, Ada Whale says, Ada Whale being the Twitter account, I think that's the idea, yeah. Users should, however, and this is an important one, beware of scams or phony tokens, as Dust has not yet been launched. So this is a bit of a new playing field here, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it picks up and what the effect will be in actuality on ADA. Next up, Emergo is set to launch the first stablecoin on Cardano. There's a lot of hot stuff, new hot stuff coming up. Emergo, the commercial arm and a foundational member of the Cardano blockchain, is set to launch the first stablecoin, dubbed USDA, on the Cardano network. According to the announcement on Emergo's webpage, USDA, a regulatory compliant stablecoin fully pegged to the US dollar, is the first product launched under its Anzen's suite. Now, the fact that it is fully pegged to the US dollar can be both a cause for alarm and relief, in my opinion. Emergo's Anzen's was designed to bridge the barrier between traditional finance and decentralized finance, or DeFi. It will deploy the Cardano ecosystem to create solutions for challenges like maintaining a Web 3.0 balance sheet and making card payments directly with crypto, among others faced in the industry. Moving on, Emergo is in partnership with an unnamed regulated financial services company based in the US. The regulatory compliant stablecoin is expected to launch in the first quarter of 2023. Interesting information coming up here. Apparently, after the launch, users will be allowed to tokenize their USD into USDA. They will also be able to convert other stablecoins like USDC and USDT to USDA. There are also plans to allow the swaps and conversions of cryptocurrencies including Bitcoin, BTC, and Ethereum. Generally, the launch of the US dollar-pegged stablecoin could help change the fortunes of the card's DeFi ecosystem. So, something else to keep our eye on. Ooh, this is a hot one. This is a hot one. And what I would love for you guys to do is, if you have any thoughts, opinions on this, pop a comment down below and we can get chatting about it. Hundreds of Twitter employees want to resign after Elon Musk's ultimatum. Whenever we see the word ultimatum, it does not bode well. Just 3 weeks after acquiring social media giant Twitter, Elon Musk has triggered a mass exit at the company. Within the first week, the billionaire fired top executives, including the CEO and CFO, and eliminated over 3,500 job positions. He has now given an ultimatum for the remaining employees to sign up for long hours at high intensity. That is, in quotation marks, I repeat, long hours at high intensity, or leave. According to Reuters, hundreds of Twitter workers plan to walk away from the company. This is what Musk told Twitter employees in an email on Wednesday. I quote, "Going forward, to build a breakthrough Twitter 2.0 and succeed in an increasingly competitive world, we will need to be extremely hardcore." Employees were asked to click yes if they chose to stay and agree to the terms. Employees who failed to respond by 5 p.m. on Thursday would be considered to have quit and given a severance package. Hardcore is definitely the word. Interesting. A poll on the workplace app Blind asked workers to estimate the percentage of staffers that would leave based on their perception, and over half of the respondents replied 50%. Let's look at this more in detail. In another poll, 42% out of 180 respondents chose the taking exit option, I'm free answer, meaning they planned on leaving and choosing liberty. A quarter chose to stay, I quote, reluctantly, while only 7% said they clicked yes to stay, I'm hardcore. Only 7% are hardcore. We wonder what the rest are and how that changes Elon Musk's definition of hardcore. A former employee noted that in a private chat on messaging app Signal, about 40 workers out of 50 staff said they chose to leave. Furthermore, one employee disclosed that Musk was meeting some top employees trying to convince them to stay with the company, and this was confirmed by another recently departed staffer. Although the number of departed is uncertain, oh my word, that phrase, the number of departed, it sounds like they're victims of a mass scheme, doesn't it? It makes you wonder. An employee said security officers began sending workers out of the office on Thursday evening. The company also informed staffers that it would close its offices and cut badge access until Monday. Important. Employees that have departed include several engineers who take care of bugs and prevent service outages, which has raised concerns about the platform's stability. Workers are already complaining that their version of the Twitter app is slowing down, estimating the public version to break down soon. Wow. Well, there's some hectic news packed into that. What do you think? We'd love to know and hear from you. I personally, at this point, see one of the downsides of capitalism. Disclaimer, I'm not a leftist. No, but I'm serious. This could get, to repeat myself, it could become quite serious. On the other hand, it could be a very, very positive change, or to use a better term, advancement in the social media world. However, we'll have to wait and see. Next up on our news for today, USDC stablecoin issuer Circle introduces support for Apple Pay. This is just another sign that the world is changing. Apple Pay is the second most popular digital wallet in the United States. Circle claims that conventional stores would profit from Apple Pay integration. Let's hear this. Circle, the issuer of the USDC stablecoin pegged to the US dollar, has introduced support for Apple Pay in an effort to bring the crypto and conventional payment systems closer together. In a blog post, Circle made the news and projected that it may increase sales for crypto-native companies by allowing users to, quote unquote, buy crypto using Apple Pay on their preferred exchange. Circle claims that conventional stores would profit from Apple Pay integration because it will enable them to shift more retail payments to digital currency. Apple states that setting up Apple Pay for a company is a straightforward procedure, and that consumers who use Apple Pay at stores that accept the payment method may use either Face ID or Touch ID to complete their purchases. Reports show that Apple Pay is the second most popular digital wallet in the United States, just behind PayPal. After Tether USDT, USDC is the most valuable stablecoin in terms of market capitalization. Interesting stuff. So, two of the apparently biggest players are teaming up. I wonder what kind of impact it's going to make on the average Joe in America and how soon it's going to extend to the rest of the world. Probably very soon. In any case, moving on. A bit of bad news. Bitcoin miner hash price drops to new all-time low. Will it impact the Bitcoin price? Oh dear. Glassnode reported that the Bitcoin miner hash price has dropped. It now stands at 58.3 thousand US dollars per exahash per day. Bitcoin prices have dropped by more than 76% from the peak. Bitcoin price drops have left the mining industry under immense pressure. FTX collapse news, which broke last week, urged the Bitcoin miners to distribute additional Bitcoin. As per the data, miners moved additional 8.25 thousand Bitcoins to shore up their balance sheets. Now, the miners' treasuries hold around 78,000 Bitcoin. However, it has erased all balance growth in 2022. The Bitcoin price drops by 13%. This has happened in the last 30 days. Bitcoin is trading at an average price of $16,765.17 at the press time. So it's probably still somewhere around there now, I would say. Its market capitalization has shrunk to $322 billion. As per Glassnode, miners have been forced to liquidate around 9.5% of their treasuries during the last week. And so on. This apparently demonstrates the pro-cyclical nature of Bitcoin miners. But I mean, on the one hand, it's bad news. On the other hand, what else do you expect in the crypto world? When you're working with purely demand and supply driven currencies, you know, you're in for this. You're in for this. It's all in the game. And it doesn't necessarily mean that everything's going down in flames. There's such a thing as growing pains. Speaking of which, El Salvador plans to purchase Bitcoin every day from tomorrow. And this was updated on November the 17th, 2022. In the latest development, El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, that is the president, announced that they will resume their Bitcoin purchases once again. In his recent tweet, the president wrote, "We are buying one Bitcoin every day starting tomorrow." However, he hasn't suggested how long they will continue with this buying program. El Salvador's Bitcoin law came into effect last year. The country has acquired nearly $375 million worth of Bitcoins. However, it has been sitting at more than $60 million in unrealized paper losses. President Nayib Bukele has been the biggest proponent of Bitcoin and believes that the crypto would be good for the country's financial health, which in itself isn't very good. Furthermore, he has gone against all odds for their Bitcoin bet, despite repetitive warnings from the IMF, that is the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank to withdraw from their Bitcoin bet. Last year's Bitcoin price decline has certainly been a deadly blow for El Salvador. The unfolding of the FTX episode of the last week has also put Bitcoin under huge selling pressure, but it seems that President Bukele has amassed enough confidence to take a long-term bet on fresh Bitcoin purchases. Ooh, this is an interesting part. While President Bukele has been relying on Bitcoin-denominated volcano bonds to pay off their national debt, things haven't turned in his favor so far. Every top rating agency has downgraded El Salvador's credit line, and rating agency Fitch expects that the country could default on its debt in the coming January. Economist Membrano has said that El Salvador could fall into the financial access of China, asking it for debt financing. I quote, "It would represent a total realignment of El Salvadoran foreign policy," he said. Very interesting. I can't help but agree to some extent with Nayib Bukele in terms of his optimism. Crypto depends on optimism. It also depends on realism And whether or not he is thinking and acting and leading his country ultimately realistically remains to be seen. What do you think? We want to hear. Thank you for joining me once again today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's been great to review all the crazy, crazy stuff that's been happening. And we know that even more is going to continue happening. So please stay tuned. If this was helpful, you know what I'm going to say. All you need to do is click, 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 ding. Not difficult. And that allows us to continue doing what we love, bringing you the best news from the crypto world so that you can continue to invest and not just gamble. Have a good day, and I'll be seeing you soon.